The charity gala was a sea of glittering gowns and sharp tuxedos, but I felt like a fish out of water. A single dad, working as a waiter, just trying to make ends meet for my little girl, Lily. My world was far from this opulent ballroom. My focus was on balancing trays and keeping a low profile until I saw her. She was tucked away in a corner, a beautiful young woman in a simple blue dress. A large burn scar traced its way down her arm and onto her hand, and she kept it hidden as much as she could. I saw the loneliness in her eyes, the way she flinched when people got too close. It resonated with a pain I knew all too well. I later learned she was Chloe, the daughter of Mr. Sterling, the CEO hosting the event. He was a titan of industry, a man whose picture was always in the business section. He stood surrounded by admirers, laughing and shaking hands, seemingly oblivious to his daughter's isolation. My heart ached for her. Every time a new song started, a hopeful light would flicker in her eyes, only to be extinguished as she remained alone. The other guests, so preoccupied with status and appearance, seemed to look right through her, or worse, stare at her scars with pity or revulsion. My shift was almost over, but I couldn't just leave. I thought of my own daughter, Lily. What if one day she felt this invisible, this unwanted? The thought spurred me into action. I straightened my body, took a deep breath, and walked over to her. My heart was pounding. What was I, a simple waiter, doing? But when I saw her look up, her eyes wide with surprise, I knew I had to see it through. "Excuse me," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "I know I'm just staff, but I couldn't help but notice you haven't danced all night. Would you do me the honor?" She looked stunned, glancing around as if I might be talking to someone else. A faint blush crept up her cheeks. "Me?" she whispered. I don't really dance." "Neither do I confessed with a small smile. "We can be terrible at it together. What do you say?" For a moment she hesitated, her gaze falling to the scar on her arm. I understood. The world had taught her to hide, to feel ashamed. I met her eyes and held my hand out, trying to pour all the sincerity I felt into my expression. After a beat that felt like an eternity, she placed her scarred hand in mine. It was warm. As I led her to the dance floor, I could feel the stares. Whispers followed us like a cold draft. I saw Mr. Sterling's smile falter as he watched us, a deep frown creasing his brow. I ignored them all. My world narrowed to just me and Chloe. The band started a slow, gentle melody. It was a song I knew well, one I often sang to Lily as a lullaby. It was about seeing the beauty within, about a light that no darkness can ever extinguish. I hummed the tune softly as we swayed. "It's a beautiful song," she murmured, her voice barely audible. "My daughter loves it," I replied. "She says it's about magic." Chloe looked up at me, a real smile finally gracing her lips. I think she's right. In that moment, she wasn't the CEO's daughter, and I wasn't a waiter. We were just two people, finding a moment of connection in a crowded room. Her steps became more confident, her posture less guarded. She was no longer hiding her arm. She was resting it on my shoulder, naturally. It was like watching a flower bloom and fast forward. We talked as we danced. She told me about her love for painting, how she'd spend hours in her studio creating worlds on canvas. I told her about Lily's latest kindergarten adventures and her obsession with dinosaurs. For the first time all night I saw her laugh, a genuine, beautiful sound that was drowned out by the polite chatter, but was the only thing I could hear. The song was coming to an end. As the final notes played, I twirled her gently, and for a fleeting second, she looked like the belle of the ball. The applause was for the band, but in my heart, it was for her. As we walked off the floor, we came face to face with Mr. Sterling. His expression was unreadable, a mixture of anger, confusion, and something else I couldn't place. He looked at me, then at his daughter, his gaze lingering on our joined hands. "Chloe," he said, his voice tight, "what is the meaning of this?" Before she could answer, I stepped forward slightly. "Sir, I apologize if I overstepped. Your daughter looked lonely, and I just wanted to offer a dance. I expected him to fire me on the spot, to have security escort me out." Instead, he looked at Chloe. He truly looked at her, perhaps for the first time that night. He saw the smile that still lingered on her lips, the newfound confidence in her stance. His hard expression began to crumble. He looked at her scarred hand, not with pity, but with a dawning realization. Then he looked back at me, the waiter who had dared to dance with his daughter. He didn't see my uniform anymore. He saw a man who had shown his daughter a kindness he had failed to. His eyes welled up, and the proud CEO, the titan of industry, seemed to break. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick with emotion. He turned to Chloe. "My dear, you are glowing." He reached out and gently touched her scarred arm, his fingers tracing the marks not with shame, but with a tenderness that spoke volumes. It was a moment of profound change, a father's pride shifting from his wealth and status to the incredible strength and beauty of his daughter, a beauty a simple waiter had helped him see. He then offered me a job, not as a waiter, but managing his foundation's new art program for children. He wanted me to bring the same kindness and perspective to help other kids find their light. That night, one simple dance changed everything. It reminded a father what truly mattered. It gave a young woman a reason to smile, and it gave a single dad and his little girl a chance at a brighter future. It taught me that sometimes the smallest act of kindness can create the biggest ripples, breaking down walls we didn't even know were there. It turns out my daughter was right. It was a night full of magic. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe for more.